Propaganda has been around for centuries, leading all the way back to ancient Greece. It is very common in the ads we see on TV and even at our local supermarkets and restaurants. So, what is it? Propaganda comes in all shapes and forms, so it's not very easy to describe. Propaganda is biased information that is usually of misleading nature to make people believe in certain things.
Types of propaganda include bandwagon propaganda, which is the type of advertising that tries to draw people into buying their product by giving off the impression that many other people have bought their product and were happy with it, so you should too. Euphemism propaganda is when you show something that is bad and make it seem better with nice, encouraging language. An example of this are the World War II ads for joining the army. Fear propaganda is when you inflict an opinion or view upon someone by intimidating them. A great example of this are the signs and things that Westboro Baptist Church use. Glittering generalities propaganda is a statement that people believe without any real evidence to support it. An example of this is Coke's ad, "Everything goes better with Coke."
Logical fallacies propaganda is when an ad concludes something. In this ad, it concludes that if a man in the military talks too freely, a Nazi might hear the information.
Name-calling propaganda is when you call someone or something a negative name to make people feel negatively towards the thing or person. Name-calling propaganda is mostly used in political ads and was used more during World War II. Plain folk propaganda is when an advertiser shows common people doing things that relate and empathize with you. This is commonly used in infomercials in stores like Walmart and Target. Reward propaganda is propaganda that offers rewards for free when you buy their product, so people think you're getting more. An example of this are the free prizes you get when you buy cereal. Testimonial propaganda is when a famous person supports and/or advertises a product, which makes the fans of the famous person want to buy it. And finally, transfer propaganda. Transfer propaganda is when you project negative or positive things on a person or thing in order to make people think negatively or positively towards it. Examples are when election candidates use religious or patriotic symbols in their ad campaigns, which makes audiences think well of them. Now, how can you recognize propaganda? We are commonly fooled by propaganda because it targets our emotions rather than our reason, and we do not recognize it when we see it. It makes us believe and do things we would not normally believe and do if we thought about it rationally and calmly. Where I explain each type of propaganda and give an example in the first part of the video will help a lot with identifying propaganda, but here are some more ways of recognizing it. Propaganda usually employs exaggerations, like saying their product is the best. They also use a lot of stereotypes in their advertisements. What kind of propaganda was used by Nazis? The propaganda used by Nazis was one of the most inflicting things in World War II. It caused millions of Germans to hate Jews. Some of the methods Nazis used was putting their hate in newspaper and putting posters up. All of the propaganda showed untrue Jewish stereotypes, making them seem like terrible people. They also put their hate in films, showing them before movies started in movie theaters. They ended up making over 1,000 films talking about Jews. Some interesting facts about propaganda are: propaganda was used to recruit soldiers to the Army and Navy. Some countries produced fake headlines to stir up emotions and start a growing hatred for their enemies. In conclusion, propaganda is a very powerful motivator, and if we become more aware of all the types of propaganda in today's society, we will be less influenced by it and view the world in a new, practical way.